right. How's everybody doing? I'm going to give everybody a couple of minutes if anybody's joining last minute to join in the chat. And then we'll go ahead and get kicked off. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for attending our live stream. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Billy Walker. I'm one of the senior events officers here at AIE Lafayette. Today, what we're going to be doing is talking to some current year 1 students, some current year 2 students. We are smack dab in the middle of minor production and major production for both years. So what we're going to do is kind of talk about what major production is, what minor production is from a different aspect, whether it be from game programming, from game art and animation, from VFX for film. We kind of have a mixture of students here today to kind of talk about their projects. And what we'll do is kind of get a glimpse of what they are working on right now, kind of the methodology behind it, some of the inspiration, what these students worked on in particular. And feel free to ask questions. I'll be asking questions of myself. If there's any questions that anybody has, feel free to drop them in the chat and we can answer those live. All right, so let's go ahead and introduce everybody. Justin, let's start with you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Justin Giudice. I'm a year 2 game programmer here, also student ambassador and a couple other things. Happy to be here.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for being here. Tell us the name of your game.
My game is called Illuminance. It's a puzzle platformer based around using light to as projectiles to activate certain puzzle bits and move around, traverse the level.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Awesome. And we'll talk more in detail about like your game and kind of the play style here in a minute. Let's go over to Dylan.
Hello, my name is Dylan Hutchinson. I am the project manager for Life's a Beach. And yep, I am also one of the cooler ambassadors.
But who's keeping track, right?
Yeah, who's keeping track?
All right, cool. Thanks, Dylan. And then we've got Sierra, who is a year 1 student. Sierra.
Hi, I'm Sierra. I'm currently a year 1 for the VFX class. I think I'm cooler, but I'm at least the coolest junior ambassador.
There you go. Mm-hmm. So we have a lot of competition in the live stream today about who's going to be the coolest. I say we leave that up to the viewers. I'm going to remain impartial. I think you're all awesome.
That means he's picking favorites, but he doesn't want to be honest. That's okay.
I'm actually writing them down in teams right now.
So,
oh
yeah.
Oh, he's tallying points.
That's right. Yeah, you will be graded. All right, guys. Well, let's do this. Let's go ahead and bring Justin up first, and then we can kind of dive into your game, see some screenshots, see some gameplay. Let's get Justin up here. All right. Hey, Justin.
How's it going?
Good, man. All right, so let's talk about Illuminance. Give me an idea of how many people were on your team, first off.
Well, we have 2 programmers, me and my counterpart Hayden, and then there's a lot of artists. I think it was 8, if I remember correctly. I have to actually look through the list. Wow. I mean, I could tell you all of them. I know them all, but I haven't counted them all in my head right now. But
no, that's a lot of artists. Yeah, you're good. We don't have to name everybody.
Yeah.
So, what was your specific role on the project? What did you work on specifically?
So, I mean, I mostly focused on gameplay. My job was to make sure the shooting functionality worked, all the movement that you were doing in the game worked, and it worked with the different activatable objects, the stuff that we put in the game. Also putting out a lot of fires, a lot of bug fixing, helping my counterpart with just solving problems on the fly. Because, there's a lot of learning and experience throughout this whole project.
Yeah. And that's half of programming, right? Yeah. It's absolutely putting out fires, right? That's
absolutely.
Yeah.
Definitely half the job is putting out fires.
Yeah. So you can tack firefighter onto your title of game programmer / firefighter, right?
Yeah, second time,
exactly. Yeah. That's awesome. So when you guys were working as a team, as a group, and you were coming up with the idea, what was some of the inspiration? How did you guys come up with your idea from your initial pitch?
Well, we were bouncing around a few different ideas, but we really kind of like settle in on like we wanted to have kind of cozy game a little bit. Like we wanted to have some like my mind. I was thinking like not Crash Bandicoot, but
Okay.
like
Yeah.
what's the name? Banjo Kazooie. Like those
Ooh.
kind of like puzzle platformy kind of games.
Yeah.
We wanted to lean more into the puzzle initially. We had but it's figuring out how much time you have. Like you think you have like a ton of time, but you have to be realistic about what's possible in like the amount of time with the amount of work you have to get done.
Yeah.
But so I mean we had probably a way broader idea when we initially started, and we kind of focused it in as we got closer to production.
Sure.
Like pre-production was a lot of like, okay, where it's like the actual game gonna like sit
Yeah.
finally.
So you mentioned the time frames. Like, talk about major production. About like, with your team, I think you had around 10, something like that,
Yeah.
total on your team. How much time are you given to come up with like the entirety, like concept to completion of major production?
Well, pre-production is like its own like section of the whole cycle. Like you spend about, I think we spent about a month, give or take. Like 4 weeks, bouncing back ideas, starting with like just let's make up a couple ideas. Like have
Yeah.
a couple ideas, pitch those, see how they like feel. Like do people like it? Do people like whatever? And then you work through that, and then you kind of narrow down. Okay, like this was good. Like we need to like kind of build this more, flesh this out, those kind of things.
Yeah.
And then when you kind of like settle on which of your ideas, the several that you've probably made up, and then you kind of like focus in as a group and figure out, oh, okay, so how could we divvy up work? Like what
Yeah.
tasks could we make for this? That kind of thing. Um, a lot of it is communication. Like so much of it is going with your group and just figuring out like what's the game everybody wants to make. That was a problem we had pretty later on in pre-production. Is that like last week or so, everyone kind of had a different idea of what the game was going to be.
Yeah.
And it's just like you just mix up. We work in different classrooms. You can't talk to someone all the time.
Yeah.
Can't communicating on Discord and stuff like that. Sometimes things can get miscommunicated.
Sure.
But I mean that's been a really important part. I think a big learning experience for especially a lot of the group members that I've been with is just learning to talk and like speak your mind about like what you want for your project.
Yeah, those communications. Yeah. So dive into that a little bit too, because I'm kind of curious. Like when you guys have, as a group, conflicting ideas, how do you, as a group, kind of resolve those ideas in major production?
I mean, a lot of that we would just like for like the way we solved a lot of our issues. Like if we were all kind of like having different ideas, we'd be like, okay, let's sit down, let's get a whiteboard, let's just pros and cons list. Let's just jot this down. Let's sit here. Okay, so we want to do this for the level. Like we want to have like this many obstacles, or we want
Yeah.
to have this many objectives you have to complete to finish the game, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you get like, okay, we're gonna work with this moving forward. Does everybody kind of agree on that? Take a consensus kind of thing. Just communicate, work. You have teamwork is so important, especially on these smaller teams, because everyone's voice is like you can't be like one guy is sort of in charge. I mean, you can to a degree, but
Yeah.
it's just not going to work with when you have such a small team. Like everyone needs to be able to communicate and work together.
Yeah. And you want everybody to have a voice on the game, since it's
Yeah, of course.
a team effort, and not have it like an overpowering. Yeah, no, I get that. That's awesome. It sounds like you guys have done really well with kind of managing your team and managing the ideas. No, that's great. So give me an idea of some of the softwares that you and your team are using right now. Let's start with you specifically. Like, what are some of the softwares that you use on a day-to-day basis on this project?
Pretty much every day I'm using Unreal. Like that's the
Yeah.
main thing we're working with. Our revision control that we use, which is I don't know if we have time to get into all that, but
Yeah, go ahead.
so revision control is kind of like how you get your software updates. So like if you say you get like a software update, it's like version 1.8 point whatever. Getting to those different levels is like everybody kind of building on a project, like putting all the files together. Like, okay, we're at this release kind of thing.
Yeah.
The revision control that we use, or version control, is called Perforce for
Okay.
this project in particular. Most people probably more recognize GitHub. That's more common, at least, especially when you're first starting. But for this project, they wanted us to utilize a different version control system and understand another one that's pretty popular in industry, especially with like larger teams. And it's definitely been a learning curve for me. Like that, Perforce was hard for me at first because I've been using GitHub my whole time since I've been here,
Yeah.
and having to figure out the new like way that kind of works, it threw me off for sure
Yeah.
at first.
But that's good, right? Because you're learning a bunch of different softwares, a bunch of different ways to come to that conclusion. So
Oh,
that
yeah.
way you're a little bit more equipped whenever you go into the industry, right?
Oh yeah. Another one is just communication software. It's like Teams,
Yeah.
GitHub, or not GitHub, Discord.
Discord. Yep.
We have a Discord channel for our thing. We have like a bunch of different channels, like for feedback from instructors or whips, meaning like work in progress stuff, or just like, hey, here's like marketing ideas for the itch.io page we're gonna make.
Yeah.
All those different like sections, we kind of level like a general one for programming, one for art. And it kind of just helps us delineate like everyone's like stuff. Like we can kind of post whatever we need in whatever channels there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's definitely been like very helpful for us, I think.
That's great. So you said you were working out of Unreal, correct?
Yes.
What language are you programming out of for this?
We program in C++.
C++ for this? Good.
Most of we haven't in this project in particular. We're not doing as much direct coding since we're using Blueprint more heavily in this project.
Okay.
Our previous Unreal projects that we've done, like in for earlier in the year, we were very specifically working in C++.
Yeah.
But specifically for this project, we wanted to utilize the Blueprint system and learn that aspect of it. That was something the instructors wanted us to understand.
Yeah, that's
because
awesome.
It's pretty industry standard to utilize Blueprint with a lot of things, and it's something that your artists can more easily adapt to whenever they're working in Engine. And it's easier to explain than like trying to explain a big block of Visual Studio text.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's not keep the people in suspense. Do you want to kind of show off some of your game and where it's at right now?
Yeah, sure.
I know that you guys are not finished. This is not like a polished, finished product yet. You guys are still in major production. So, but it's always cool to kind of see what these projects look like at this point. I'll go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, here's Illuminance. We're kind of like towards the very beginning of the level here.
Okay.
I can kind of turn around and show you like where the player usually starts. We have the big tree, which I'm kind of a fan of the big tree.
I like the big tree.
Yeah.
Very
But
cool.
our little hut right here is sort of your start and end point for the level. And you'll move through here, sort of like traversing through these platforms and things like that. You can use these little guys, like when you aim at them, you can shoot a projectile, and that will basically turn these little bubbles on to allow you to like traverse the level. And once you get to over here, there's sort of like a big gate that you got to open up and then time through, and then next portion.
While you're going through the levels, kind of talk about what's the objective of the game.
So your main goal is to find your little buddies.
Okay.
Which are these? They're like I could probably play real quick and show you what you look like here.
Yeah.
Now, if there's physics bugs, we are putting out a lot of fires. So if I start teleporting around,
that's okay.
There we go.
Yeah, we won't get mad at you. That's kind of the point.
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Yeah.
But right here is Lumen, our little light wizard guy. He throws a little light balls.
I love it. What was the inspiration for the character?
Moth. We really bounced around some ideas. Like we really wanted to play with the idea of light and shadow. This isn't actually going to be the final product skybox. We plan on having it be a good bit darker and having utilized light to navigate around.
Sure.
But just while we're in the testing phase here and still working on a lot of the kinks, you can kind of see here like it's much brighter and it's going to be much more visually popping whenever we get the final product.
Gotcha. So the point is to kind of like illuminate your path as you're going through here, searching for your friends in the dark, essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, very cool.
And they'll be right now. I should be at least one. We wanted to have multiple ones, but that may be a further iteration after the completion of major production, because I think some of the team members at least we plan to continue working on the game.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That was actually going to be my next question. Have you guys reached any of your stretch goals, or is that kind of like the stretch goals are going to be more for like when you guys graduate and keep working on the game?
Yeah, I think if we're going to make it to stretch goals, it's probably going to be afterwards. We just had, it's been a very much working experience and learning experience as we've been going through. I've had to like chop down some ideas to make sure we get it for final product. We want to get to our minimum viable product for the game.
Yeah.
Like see here, you can see your little guy.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm just trying to fix the movement. For whatever reason, our staff on the guy looks really cool, but it
Yeah.
does seem to be bugging him out a little bit.
Gotcha.
But these little dudes will follow you around as you move through the level, and then you can continue traversing. Like this one right here, if you hit this guy, it'll basically activate all these moving platforms. And you got to kind of time it to get across this
Yeah.
bridge.
Very Banjo-Kazooie, man. I see it. I like it.
Yeah.
That was my childhood growing up. I love some Banjo and Kazooie. That's great.
Yeah, definitely. I would if I did have time, I'd love to get in some like little signs that kind of indicate like what the different little pedestals and stuff do. Just so
Yeah.
it's it's not like and you just got to figure it out. But
help your player out a little bit. Yeah.
absolutely.
No, it looks good though. Are you guys feeling confident where you're at that you'll have like a full finished playable demo by the time by the end of major production?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's definitely going to be a little down to the wire, but I think we have enough time with our team that we're going to be able to like patch all the issues we're having. Like we have a pretty firm idea of like where we need to fix stuff.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have something pretty cool whenever we're done.
That's awesome. Crunch time.
Yep, crunch time.
How much longer before you guys are finished? Y'all have what, like 2 weeks left, something like that?
We have a couple days.
Oh, okay, a couple days. All right.
I believe tomorrow is when it's going to be due technically.
So you guys are going to be putting in some work over these next couple of days.
Yep.
I love that. Good.
But I'm feeling confident, feeling good about it.
Yeah, no, it looks really good, Justin. I'm excited to see a finished product. Can't wait to y'all going to publish it on Steam?
I think we'll push itch.io. Yeah, for sure. I'm not sure if we'll because I think it costs to post on Steam. I'm not really sure. I haven't posted a game on Steam myself yet.
Yeah,
but,
I know you have to like set up a Steam account, but yeah. Well, that's great. I'm really excited to see the completed project, and I'm really excited to see some of y'all's stretch goals after you guys graduate and keep working on this. I'm curious. So, like, if you had to start this project over from scratch, is there anything that you would have done differently, knowing what you know now after the last like 5 months of production?
I think I would have tried to learn more about Perforce earlier.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
I think I would have dedicated more time on my off time learning some of the newer software.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of my early issues was just hiccups and kinks, like learning how certain things worked,
Sure.
and dealing with a different type of vision control in Unreal. That definitely caused me issues, and it slowed down a lot of the pace that we were like momentum we were making. And I don't know, those kind of things. It's just me personally. I wish I would have taken more time with that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Familiarizing myself with some of the software we're using.
So not even a change in the game itself, just more time on the software specifically.
Yeah, I wish we had a bit more time there, or if I put more time into it, and I feel like we could have gotten more to our stretch goals, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, but look, I think y'all are in a great place. Game looks great.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
I can stop sharing you here. No, Justin, I appreciate you being with us. And like Justin said, he's one of our ambassadors too. So if you ever come to like an open house on the Lafayette campus, you'll see him here. Get to meet the man, the myth, the legend, Justin Judice. But no, Justin, I appreciate you. Thanks for representing your programmers today.
Absolutely.
And, I'm going to kick you off for a little while. All right. All right, so we're going to bring on Dylan Hutchinson, who is a year 2 game art student. Hey, Dylan. How are you?
Hey, Billy.
Good to see you.
How are you?
I'm great.
That's good.
So are you excited about the live today?
Yep.
Yeah, good. All right. You got to live up to Justin. Justin did a great job, so.
Absolutely. I got that. Easy work.
All right, so let's talk about your game. So what is the name of your project?
Our game is called Life's a Beach, and you play as a seagull named Benedict.
I love
it. You have to go and steal people's food off a boardwalk because, hey, you got to do what you got to do. You're hungry.
Yeah. What was some of the inspiration as you guys were like kind of coming up with the game? What was some of your, like, did you have inspiration for a certain art style or a certain previous game that you kind of liked?
We really didn't have like a certain game in mind. We just had aspects that we wanted. Like we definitely wanted low poly, and we wanted it to involve some type of animal, a very goofy looking animal.
Yeah.
And that's where we just ran with it.
You're thinking down the road. You're thinking some merchandising. You want to do like some plushies and stuff, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that. Good. Dylan, tell me what your role specifically was on the game.
Well, I was the project manager for our game. So I mostly kept everyone on task because we do have a lot of quiet people.
Yeah.
And I am more of the louder person.
What?
So so I would mostly keep communication and like make sure everyone was on task, make sure everyone has something to do, and make sure that we get to the goal at hand.
Nice. Very good. Have there been any challenges throughout this process, throughout the, the 4 or 5 months that you've run into that you've had to kind of like work through,
100%.
mitigate? Yeah.
100%. Yep.
You got a good
Yep.
example of something that like you had to, like a fire that you had to put out specifically on your project?
Mostly motivation.
Motivation? Yeah, that's
Yes,
big.
we
Yeah.
had a lot of motivation problems on our team, which was before I took the role of project manager. And so once I took the role of project manager, I was able to like get people on their feet, like, hey, come on, let's do this thing. I know you
Yeah.
don't want to, but hey, we got to do it anyway.
You were the
Type
hype man.
thing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Love it. So what are some of the softwares that you and your team use specifically as artists? Obviously, Justin's more on the programming side, you're more on the art side. What are some of the softwares that you guys used?
We used Maya, ZBrush, Substance Painter, Unreal. We used everything.
Everything. Yeah, great. What engine were you guys working out of?
We were working out of the Unreal Engine.
Also Unreal. Great. Awesome. As far as the other students involved in the project, how many are in your project specifically? How many are in your group?
We have about 11 people.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a pretty decent sized group too. More artists, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. I'll tell you what, do you have your screenshot video pulled up? We can kind of walk through your game as well. You can kind of talk about some of the inspiration, some of the mechanics.
Yeah.
Yep. Ready to go? Let's do it.
Okay, so I also worked on some of the assets along with being project manager. So I mostly worked on like our buildings.
Yeah.
We have like 7 different types of buildings. And like we made sure to like have some variety. So like not all of them are the same
Yeah.
necessarily. Yep. So we have some bigger ones, some smaller ones. This
Kinda
one is
that,
more like a cafe.
Like that beach boardwalk kind of feel to it.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
that's really cool.
And then along with the buildings, I also textured everything.
Oh, very good.
So I did all the UVs. I did not model the buildings. That
Okay.
was one of our other artists.
Yes.
But once the buildings were modeled and everything, I took over the buildings, fixed up the UVs because
Nice.
some of them were broken. And as you can see, I have different colors on everything to separate everything so I can put different layers
Yep.
and different materials. Like the green would be glass and the gray would be like wood and different types of stuff like that.
Very cool.
Because
So
I mostly worked on set design.
You were wearing a bunch of different hats then. So you were
Oh, yes.
project manager, artist, everything, doing it. I love that for you. Give me an idea of kind of the play style of the game itself.
It is top-down view.
Okay.
And you're more of like flying over this boardwalk. And once you like select which food, because you have to go for certain types of food, because certain types of food give you a different layer of fullness.
Yeah.
So if you get a pizza, you'll be more full than when you get like a corn dog, because a corn dog is relatively smaller than a piece of pizza.
Yeah.
So you have to select what type of food you want to nag and just dive down into like the boardwalk. And it's also an obstacle course.
Oh, cool.
So you will have to like dive in there, make sure you don't hit anything, because there are some grandmas swinging purses, or you may get hit by a coconut or a baby with a rattle.
I love it.
So you definitely have to like dodge those obstacles in order to get to the food at the end.
As far as the health mechanics, if you do get hit, do you like replenish life by eating the food?
Once you get hit, you will lose a bit of hunger.
Okay. So you can only like max out to a certain point once you're hit.
Correct.
Gotcha. Is it kind of a play till you die, or is there like a win mechanic on it, or?
It's a play till you die.
Okay. Kind of like a Flappy Bird.
Correct.
Gotcha. Okay. So it almost sounds like y'all have like a more impressive 3D version of Flappy Bird with an added twist of having to swipe food from passerbyers on the beach.
Absolutely.
Love that for you. Okay, that's really fun. Let's see. You Perforce was not working for you, so you don't have a playthrough, right? It's just the
Correct.
assets. Yeah. That's okay. That actually gives us a really good kind of glimpse into what you guys have been working on. How about your team? Do you guys have any stretch goals that you have managed to accomplish, or are you looking to continue after you graduate? What's kind of the end goal here?
The one stretch goal that we currently have is that we were planning to have PNG faces on our NPCs.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Love
So
that.
like they would blink and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the way it's coming down now, we may have to cut it.
Gotcha. Okay. Other than having to cut your stretch goal, what has been one of the most like fun parts of the project so far?
Honestly, being project manager is pretty fun.
You like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I kind of like bossing people around.
No.
Just a little bit. Just a
No,
little bit.
Dylan, not
Just a
you.
little bit.
I love
I
that.
like being in charge.
And look, tell everybody, because I know you've shared this with me. What are your aspirations whenever you graduate? Like, what is kind of your end goal?
Once I graduate, the goal is to one day come up with my own TV series
Mhm.
and like work on like character assets, environment assets for that.
Yeah.
So,
I know you wanted to open your own studio, correct?
correct.
Yeah. That's kind of where that whole being the boss thing comes in, right?
Yeah, very
Yep.
true.
Love that for you. What would you say is one of the most like challenging aspects of this project? Maybe things that you didn't expect in going into this.
Mostly the team itself, because again, everyone's extremely quiet
Yeah.
and no one really takes initiative. So it's kind of tasking to be like, hey, can you do this? Or finding out things needed to be done, but no
Yeah.
one would tell me.
So
And
just kind of
then,
like getting the organizational skills behind the game and making sure that like
yeah,
everybody's motivated. Yeah. And I know that happens too a lot during the game, because like there's a lot of work that has to be done in 5 months. And so like if you lose that motivation, it gets tough towards the end. It's kind of like a marathon, right? You're running that marathon and you're strong for those first 20 miles, but those last few miles, woof, that's tough.
yeah,
So you're the guy at the finish line cheering everybody on, basically trying to get them motivated.
pretty much.
Yeah, I love that for you. Let's see. Do we have? You said you had like 11 people on your project.
Correct.
Okay, cool. Tell me a little bit about like some of the like the animation style. You said it's a top-down kind of a dive bomb mechanic.
Mhm.
The animation is the seagull is the main character, correct?
Correct.
How did you guys go about some of like the animation on the seagull? Is it just like very traditional? Did you use like videos of a seagull to kind of get like natural movements? Were you going more cartoonish, more over exaggerated movements?
We actually looked at a bunch of like animatic memes.
Yeah.
Because again, we wanted the seagull to be extremely goofy. Like
Okay.
that was the main goal. Like have this guy looking as goofy as possible.
Yeah.
And honestly, one of our stretch goals was to have an animation of him eating the food,
Okay.
where like half of it like gobbles out of his mouth and like he's just making a big mess of the food. But sadly, we did have to cut it due to timing.
Gotcha. I actually think I have a screenshot of y'all's entrance here. Let me see, so you can kind of see the main character. Let me see if I have that photo. Are you guys going to be able to do some of the plushies?
I would like to.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel like I could crochet some of the plushies and like sell them for profit. Just a little something, something.
A little something on the side. Well, if you make a
Yeah.
plushie, I'll definitely take one. Let me see. I have that. Let's pull this up. There we go.
Yep, good old Benedict.
So there's Benedict the seagull. Yeah, I could definitely see that as a plushie. That's really fun. And I think I have a couple of other screen grabs. This kind of gives you a good overview of what your obstacle course looks like, right? You kind of called it an obstacle course. Just that long stretch of pier. And then these are just some of the additional assets to kind of add to the aesthetics of the game, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, these are great. And I'm assuming this is going to be more from the bird's point of view, kind of what he's seeing whenever he's dive bombing, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. No, it looks like a really fun game. I can't wait to play this one as well. Super pumped about this one. But yeah, no, that's great. Dylan, anything you want to add to any of the adoring fans on the live stream today?
No, I think I'm good.
Think you're good? Yeah, I think you did a great job. Love the game. Can't wait to see a completed version. And if you don't have anything else, Dylan, I appreciate you being here. Don't leave just yet. We'll bring you back on at the end for a little group chat. But I am going to kick you off and move over to Sierra. All right. Hey.
Hey.
How are you, Sierra?
I'm Sierra. Hi.
Okay, so introduce yourself. Kind of tell us what you do. I know you're the year 1 student on the live today.
Yes, I am a year 1 student for the VFX class. For the project right now, I really enjoy doing UV and retopology, so that's what I've focused on a lot, actually.
Awesome. So can you kind of give the differences? So we're saying, 3D animation, VFX for film versus game art. Kind of give some of the differences year 1 between the 2 curriculums, so people kind of understand the difference.
Well, the biggest difference that I've seen so far is that I have a lot more freedom than most of the people doing stuff for games. You have to make sure that all of your assets can run on most computers, consoles, even phones if you're going to go that route.
Sure.
I don't have to do that, so I can make. I mean, obviously, I don't want terrible UVs.
Yeah.
But I don't have to be that specific with UVs.
Yeah.
So since my UVs don't have to be specific for different consoles and etc. I can have them however I want. I can have them just as detailed. Still, we obviously don't want to use all of the detail on little itty bitty objects, just like game art. But I can have as much as I want.
That's awesome. I know there are a lot of parallels too between game art and VFX for film.
Yes.
Essentially, you guys are learning that 3D art pipeline. You're doing a lot of the character modeling, environments, lighting and compositing,
yes,
animation rigging, things of that nature. But it's really that last project that kind of separates you guys from the game artist, correct?
Yes. Unlike those cool people, we are not making or playing a game.
Yeah.
We are making a video, which is basically going to be an advertisement.
So let's start talking about your project because I'm actually super excited about this. I think for a year 1 project, it's you guys have cranked out a lot of great work. So start with the name. What's the name of your project?
So the name of our project, it's an ad for a place called GlobZobs Goodies.
Yeah.
Which we weren't sure what we wanted to do. We basically threw out a bunch of words. I actually do have a picture of the whiteboard.
Yeah.
That I can show in a little bit.
Sure.
But we just started throwing out words. We started, I think one of them was roller skates. We wanted an alien. We wanted space.
Yeah.
And then we ended up with a space truck stop. It's essentially like Buc-ee's, but in space.
I love it. That's the inspiration. Buc-ee's, but in space. That's great.
Yeah.
So I think you kind of touched on it. Maybe dive in a little bit more about what was your specific role on the commercial itself.
So my specific role was I helped gather everyone's thoughts into one thing. Unlike Dylan's issue with a lot of quiet people, the VFX class has a lot of loud people, which is not bad at all, but that also means a lot of ideas, a lot of pitches, and a lot of just everything all at once. Which is why I turned around. I'm in the back of the class, which I have a giant whiteboard behind me.
Yeah.
I turned around, started writing.
Yeah.
I was the one to help gather things into ideas. We ended up with 3 different pitches. One was GlobZobs. Another one was going to be a ring and a jewelry line, basically. And then the other one was going to be an outfit line. GlobZob was funnier, so GlobZob won.
I kind of love GlobZob. I'll be honest with you.
We did too.
Yeah. Please tell me you guys did some type of a parody off of the whole clean bathrooms.
Yes, actually, that was what started it.
Okay.
We wanted. I think somebody saw a video on I believe YouTube Shorts or something of somebody making fun or making a fake ad for Buc-ee's and being yeah, we have the greatest bathrooms in the world, and and now we have GlobZobs actually.
You got GlobZobs bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's great.
One of the things on that picture of the whiteboard actually is just me writing down jokes that we wrote.
Yeah. I did notice too that you guys have a very marketable character as well. Are you guys planning
Yes.
on doing some kind of a plushie or something like that just to promote?
I have a picture of that too. We have
Yeah.
2 plushes. One of a horse that is going to be a logo in one of
Okay.
the scenes, and then of course GlobZob himself.
Okay. All right. I can't wait to see it all. So let's get into some of the kind of the day-to-day semantics of the project. So how we kind of went over like how you guys came up with the idea. It's kind of like a space buckies, right? What are some of the softwares that you guys are using specifically in the VFX class?
For sculpting, we're using Maya and ZBrush.
Okay.
Depends on whether we're using hard surface or we're doing like a lot of curves and stuff. Donna, which is one of the main characters, she's a robot. She's actually made both in ZBrush and Maya actually. We used, I think we're currently moving everything into Unreal Engine.
Nice.
So which is where the final products are going to be. Animations are also going to be in Maya. Trying to think. We are all talking to each other and we're keeping everything recorded in a thing called Hack and Plan, and then of course Discord.
Yep, awesome. I did want to go back because you talked about the kind of like the maid robot. What was the inspiration for that robot? I'm curious.
Well, she went through a lot of things.
Yeah.
First, she was going to be just an alien. She was going to be the spokesperson. In the video that I had mentioned earlier, there was the guy talking about Buc-ee's. She was basically taking his place.
Yeah.
She was originally going to be a worker who was just talking about the life of working at a space Buc-ee's.
Yeah.
And now she's become an AI who is basically the controller of GlobZobs.
Gotcha. I am curious, was there any inspiration from like the Jetsons on her design?
Yeah. Well, so people started naming out, I want 80s design. I want like an old diner design, Jetsons. I think we had Atomic Era was a big thing that we wanted to base it off of. So Atomic Era art, mid-century modern was another big word.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all
had a lot of inspiration on the project.
Yes.
That's really cool. That's great.
It was honestly kind of hard to dwindle it down to we can't have both mid-century modern and like cyberpunk.
Yeah, sure you can.
I mean,
you can do whatever you want. Yeah, bring that creativity
within the amount of time we had.
Yeah. So let's talk about that because the major production, Justin and Dylan got about 5 months. Tell us about the time frame on a year 1 project.
Ooh, actually, I do not remember when this started. I could probably look it up in just a second.
Yeah, no, you're fine. It's typically about 3 months though, right? It's about what you get.
Yeah.
It's a little bit shorter.
We definitely had a lot shorter than Dylan and Justin. We were given the idea, I guess, almost 3 months ago because we are nearing the end. Hey, we need to make products by a place called Omnico, and we need to make an ad for it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, pre-production started immediately, which is when we started pitching ideas and started thinking of things.
Yeah.
Now
y'all probably had a little bit shorter time on the pre-production. Like I know major production, they took about 4 weeks. You guys were pretty much done in like a couple of weeks, huh?
Oh yeah, we wanted to rush through pre-production because we had a lot of ideas for not a lot of time.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. So again, one of the major differences in the VFX for film class is you guys didn't break up into groups. You have one large group working on this entirety of the project, including yourself. How many students actually worked on the project?
I believe it's 11, 12, including the teacher.
Yeah, awesome.
We, unfortunately, VFX is a smaller classroom, so that is all of the students. We couldn't break up into small pieces. The game art and the programming classes are a little bit bigger, which is why they had groups to split up. Also, they combined for the games. Yeah, 100%.
But that's great because I love that you guys got to work on one large title. It's been a lot of fun kind of seeing that come to fruition. All right, well, do you want to? I could share screen again for you if you want to pull up your.
Yeah, I have a few images I'd like to show, and then I also have 2 storyboards and in progress, and then the current one we have right now.
Yeah, and then just talk us through it.
Heck yeah. believe this is it.
Yeah, and then all right, I'll go ahead and share you. Ready to go? Here we go.
So this was actually the whiteboard that we started out with.
Yeah.
Like I said, we just started naming out random things. We had aliens, we had robots, canned food for some reason, roller skates. Roller skates is the reason we started out going into diners.
Yeah.
See, here's Jetsons, Atomic Era. WandaVision was also one of the ideas.
Okay, I can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, just started naming out random things, and we ended up with Project GlobZob.
Project GlobZob. I love it.
Honestly, I don't think we could have gotten anywhere better. I think this was a really cool idea.
No, it's been really fun to see this come together.
And by the way, here are our plushies.
Oh no, those are so good.
Yes. Hopefully, if they be like go into full fruition, they'll be a little bit more, high poly.
Yeah, clean them up a little bit. Well,
Yeah.
if you make some, I got room on the desk over here.
Hey,
for
we
some
might.
plushies. So
A few of us have 3D printers. We might.
yeah, just keep me in mind. I'll take some. No, that's awesome. What are the names of the characters right there?
So he doesn't actually have a name. He is
Shameful.
just going to be terrible. He's going to be a logo. So for GlobZob, it's a gas station / like a truck stop. And instead of gas for trucks, we have glue, which the most horsepower in the galaxy, because the yeah.
Okay.
So we have glue. He's the honestly, I don't think we ever made a name for him.
Oh, we got to do that.
I'll have to. Maybe Pony Boy. Maybe
Yeah.
Glue Boy.
Bringing an outsiders reference. I like that. Yep.
Maybe. I'll have to talk with the team about it.
There you go. Yeah, keep going. Let's see some of the other inspiration for the characters.
Let's see. I'm trying to remember where everything is. So I know that these few frames, this was part of pre-production actually. We were trying to decide what did we want our character to look like. She started out as an alien, but unfortunately we had way too much stuff altogether. And we decided, hey, that's a little too like it's too full of detail. We need something real simple. So we ended up with this design. I actually drew this design. It was really fun to figure out what I wanted her to look like.
Yeah, very cool.
Definitely a bit of Jetsons, a bit of Atomic Era. We wanted to make it easier on the people who are going to rig. So she actually doesn't have individual fingers, just to make it easy for people who do that.
Yeah.
Also, she doesn't have individual legs for us to have to animate.
Smart.
Yes, we definitely wanted to focus on how can we make this the easiest thing possible.
Yeah.
Her face is actually going to be a screen, which again is actually pretty easy to rig. Actually, all you have to do is move the thing over for her to have a different expression.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very exciting.
Yeah, because you guys have a lot to knock out in 3 months, so that's smart.
Yes.
Smart thinking on doing.
This is her in ZBrush. This was her original thing.
Yeah.
And then this was her fully fleshed out. We decided to move the arms into Maya, so it would be a hard surface design or a hard surface model.
Yeah.
And this was me retopoing her actually.
Yeah.
I had to focus on what would move the most, which is why these are more dense than these, because again, hard surface. This isn't actually going to bend. These were.
Gotcha. Okay. So some realistic lifelike movements, but still very robotic.
Yes, I had to find a good blend between knowing what can bend and what can't, because she's definitely a little bit of an odd character.
Yeah.
I've never actually modeled a robot before, so it was actually fun to figure out, oh, hey, how can I make this easier on myself, basically.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Do you have any other screenshots that you want to show, or do you want to show your... Oh, yeah, look, that's cool.
Yeah, this was her face rig.
Yeah.
And then this is her in... Oh.
I really like this one. It's something about the hairstyles given like Princess Peach or something from...
Yes.
Yeah.
Her hairstyle took forever to figure out.
Yeah, I love it. So it's like Princess Peach meets the Jetsons.
Yeah, definitely took a while.
That's great.
Let's see. So after we figured out what we wanted her to look like through this, we decided to start on the storyboard, which would figure out timing, how we want her to move, and of course the voice lines in the script.
Yeah.
So this was our second storyboard, I believe, but this was the most updated one.
Let's see what we got.
Right.
Oh, very cool.
There's Pony Boy.
There's Pony Boy. He looks like a Dunstan or something. I don't know. So this was the earlier storyboard. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, what?
This is the earlier storyboard?
Yes.
Because Donna looks more alien-esque in this one than robot.
Well, actually, the first storyboard is the one that still has her looking like an alien.
Okay.
But I didn't want to show too many storyboards. Yeah, no, we definitely had a little bit of fun for this. I will say that.
That's really fun. No, that's cool. Did you say you have another video that's like more updated, or that was the original storyboard? Okay.
So this was the storyboard where we fleshed everything out 2D wise.
Yeah.
We had, as you could see, there were a lot of different styles, which we had a lot of people work on it. So we gave different people different tasks. Most of these were all, hey, I need you to do this one thing so then we can all get this done together within a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Instead of taking a week because it's one person doing it.
Sure, that makes sense.
So after that, we decided to make a blockout with the actual model. There is no movement because this is just a blockout showing
Sure.
how big everything is.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's very cool. So as far as as this plays through, as far as y'all's timing, do you feel like you were on track to finish? You'll have a fully finished commercial, and about how long do you think the commercial is going to be?
Honestly, I really do believe this will be fully finished, and I can tell you how long. It'll be, let's say, probably about 57 seconds, 58.
Okay. Yeah, that's actually quite a bit for 3 months. That's good. I was thinking you're going to be more like 30, 35 seconds. So
that was the goal. Our first idea where we were going to try and keep it under about 40, 45. And then we realized, hey, we can probably do a little bit more, a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am curious. Well, real quick, before we get into that, is that kind of everything that you had to show on the finished product so far?
I believe so. I did just want to show the building itself.
Oh, yeah.
This is some of our mock-up ideas. This is one of the pumps. This part is going to be rigged while she's moving.
Very cool.
This is just another angle of it. This is the actual full shop itself. This is a huge sign that's going to be in it. And then this is the actual gas station.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the image was, but we randomly found a gas station, I believe in Russia, where the top kind of looked like a mushroom. And we were like, you know what? That looks kind of alien. So we wanted to make our own.
It has a very old school 50s, almost diner / gas station feel to it. So it's really cool.
That was our goal, and I'm really glad that it worked out well.
Yeah.
And then this was me acting out for the animation because I will be one of the main animators.
Okay.
The video isn't working, but I had to record myself doing a bunch of the movements for the blockout and for a mock-up.
Kind of like inspiration for the
Yeah.
That's very cool. All right. I'll tell you what. I will turn off your screen share, but I do have some questions for you. So don't go anywhere. Obviously, as a year one student, this is your first, minor production before you move into major production. What's been the most fun part so far?
Ooh, honestly, learning all of the learning Maya.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. Learning ZBrush, very fun.
Okay.
Learning Unreal, even more. I haven't actually learned as much as I want to yet.
Yeah.
But we've been focusing on Maya and ZBrush the most right now. Maya is extremely fun, and it showed me just how easy it is to actually make something. ZBrush is even more because I can actually sculpt things. I can make things real in detail, which is how I learned how much I like doing UV and retopologizing, which basically means I can take a sculpt from ZBrush into Maya, and then that's a lot of detail for something like Maya, so I make it less detail by doing retopology.
Gotcha. What's been the most challenging part of the project as a year one?
Also Maya.
Also Maya.
Yes. So Maya has, or at least we learned a render system called RenderMan.
Yeah.
No, I did not like that. It was a lot to learn. It was a slow process, which is actually why we started learning Unreal.
Yeah.
It's going to be another basically another way to render things. RenderMan is very good at what it does, but it's also very slow, and it has, I don't know, I just wasn't too great at the node system, which is why I wasn't for this project. I'm actually not the one doing nodes.
Yeah.
We moved everything to what someone's good at for the project, which is why I'm doing topology, because I really like it.
That's awesome. If you had to do the project over again as the year one, is there anything that you would have done differently?
I definitely would have rushed a few more things.
Okay.
So we could get more things done.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We weren't the most organized, or at least not as organized as we should have been.
Yeah.
Because again, there were a lot of ideas, a lot of loud people, and then there was miscommunication that we didn't realize until a little bit too late.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's all a part of the process, right? So next year when you go into major production, you guys know what you need to focus on as far as like the communication skills and the organizational skills and everything.
I can't wait till next year.
I can't either. I'm excited. If this is the year one work, I'm excited to see what you do in year two. Did you guys have any stretch goals for this particular project, or it was basically just like finish?
Well, we did have a few things that we did end up getting cut. I'm not sure if they were fully stretch goals. Like, we had another character we were going to introduce, actually. He was a little bug guy who was going to be in the diner scene. Okay. We didn't want to have another character to model or rig, because that would have been another unique rig, which is already a huge challenge for right now.
Sure.
I think we also wanted to have some more background stuff, some more funny things in the background. Didn't really get to, because again, we've already got a lot going on. Which honestly, I'm excited for how I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And essentially all these projects are going to be wrapping. Are you out in the next week as well, or is that just year two?
No, I believe we have 2 weeks left.
You got 2 weeks left. Okay.
Yes.
I was thinking backwards. So you guys have 2 weeks left. They have 2 days left. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you guys are going to get. Yeah, Godspeed. You guys are going to get a lot done in that 2 weeks, so that's exciting to see.
Oh yeah,
what you're going to produce. Well, that's awesome. Sierra, anything else you want to add just last minute before we wrap on your project? Any highlights or anything like that?
Honestly, not that I can think of, other than for oncoming students, don't worry about not being good at 2D art and stuff. Because a lot of the students who I work with right now were worried that they weren't going to be able to do well in VFX because they can't draw. Don't worry about that. Even in our character animation or character creation thing, some of us couldn't draw different positions of characters, and yet some of their characters in the end look amazing.
Yeah.
So don't get too stressed about that.
Yeah. No, for sure. And I would say a very small portion of y'all's project was probably even hand-drawn or 2D, more on the storyboarding aspect, right? Like you guys pretty much just did that for storyboarding, and then everything else was in 3D.
Yeah, and that was only given to the people who knew they could do it too.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's great. It sounds like you guys collaborated really well as a team, kind of played to everybody's strengths. That's really awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you, Sarah. I'll tell you what, stay on. We'll bring back Justin. We'll bring back Dylan. There we go. Now we got a full house. Well, good, guys. I don't see any questions in the chat, but let's see if I've got, let me just double check real quick. I want to thank you guys for doing this too. I appreciate y'all taking time off. So my year twos are not actually in class right now, so they came in to do this specifically, and Sierra begrudgingly left class early. I know. I had to like pull her away from her screen. She was so
I got dragged away.
Yeah, kicking and screaming. No, I really do appreciate you guys doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks, guys. So obviously I've got year one, I've got year two. You guys are about to graduate. You're about to bump up to year two. How has your time here been? Has it been exciting? Have you guys learned a ton? Are you excited to get out into the industry and start like putting your skills to use?
It's been interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. And actually, Dylan, you're coming back next year for VFX for film. So you're actually not going into the industry. We get you for some more time.
Yep.
Love that.
Y'all stuck with me.
I'm okay with it. Justin?
I honestly had a great time here. I mean, it's been a really fun 2 years. It's been stressful at times for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's definitely better than my last job, that's for sure. I mean, I
Do you want to let everybody in on the inside joke there?
yeah, I was in the Navy for about 5.5 years.
Yeah.
And when I got out, I knew a few people who had come to the school, and I knew Billy worked here. I've known Billy for me and Billy Walker have known each other for quite a long time.
Yep.
And then we sat at a CC's coffee. I'm like, so what's the school about? I have a
Oh, that's
GI
right.
Bill
I
now.
remember that meeting. Yeah, we had
Yeah.
a little CC's meetup to kind of talk about the school and see if this is where you wanted to be. And I'm so excited that you came, Justin. I think
Oh
you've
yeah,
done a great
I'm
job.
so
Yeah.
happy I made a decision to come here. I
Yeah.
don't regret it for a second.
Yeah, you've been awesome. Sierra, what are you excited about moving into year 2? Excited, nervous?
Ooh, I'm nervous about learning more.
Yeah.
We're going to be learning more in-depth things about Maya, and I believe we're actually learning more programs.
Yeah.
I'm extremely excited and nervous. My camera work and my editing skills are not too good, but I know that I'll learn more with them.
100%. Yeah. Have you started to kind of think about what you want your specialty to be going into year 2?
Honestly, I'm not sure. I really enjoy character creation and making things for other, like for the videos. I really enjoyed. We had a project about making something fit into like an IRL picture.
Yeah.
Which I think would be really cool to combine that and our character creation thing.
That's awesome. Yep.
Yeah.
That's really great. Okay. Is there anything that you guys want to add to the adoring fans out there on the live stream about the school, about the course? No pressure.
Help us.
I would just say, I mean, just give it your all. You gotta want it. Like, I mean, the people who haven't made it through this course, their heart wasn't in it at the end of the day. If you care enough to put your best effort forward, this school will meet you halfway. Absolutely.
Yeah, look, it's a tough curriculum, right, Justin? Like, you guys are focused on your specialties 20 hours a week. My students are coming to school 2.5 days out of the week. We treat it like a work day, so they're here 9 to 5, 2 days a week, and then a half day on Friday. But yeah, it's intensive. It's a lot of work. The content's great, but you gotta come in with the right mindset. Yeah, that's great, Justin. Yep, I appreciate that. Any words of wisdom, Sierra?
Honestly, I agree with what he said. I can't think of anything else other than you got this.
Love it. Love the inspiration. Dylan, drop some knowledge on us. What you got? Pearls
Y'all
of
need to
wisdom.
stop being shy.
Stop being shy.
That's
Stop
very
being
true.
shy,
Please.
Bring your weird.
Please,
Bring
on
your
everything.
Please
Please.
do not be afraid to be weird or please.
Stop being shy.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna get a bumper sticker that says "Stop being shy." That's great, Dylan.
Have it tagged AIE as well.
Yeah, hashtag AIE. Stop being shy.
Look, AIE merch. I will buy it and I will put it on my car.
That's awesome. Well, listen, guys, if anybody out there is interested in coming to check out what we do on a normal basis, I do have open house, which is coming up here on the 14th. But if you check our website, we have open houses that'll pop up all year. So if you missed this one, we definitely will have some more upcoming in the future. So just aie.edu. Always check our website to see different upcoming events. But yeah, Sierra, Justin, Dylan, I really appreciate you guys doing this with me today. Thanks for showcasing your games. And then as those come out, we'll post them on the website as well, so you guys can see the finished product for GlobZobs Goodies, for Life's a Beach, and Illumination.
Close.
Illumination. What
the
was
moth
it?
game.
Evil.
Illuminance. Yeah.
Illuminance. Oh man, see that's
We took a long time thinking of different words for light until we were like, let's do this one.
That's the old age coming through, Justin. See, you got me. So, all right, guys. Well, listen, I'm going to leave this up on the screen for a little bit, but I appreciate you guys being here, and we will talk with everybody soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.